blood. But how do you actually cut through all that noise? How do you get past just knowing stuff to really understanding what actually matters? To feel truly informed without dedicating, well, your entire life to research. That's exactly what we do here on the Deep Dive. Think of us as your shortcut, your guides, helping you navigate that data deluge to find the real insights. We get to the core of complex topics, quick and clear. And today, we're diving deep into something really intriguing and honestly incredibly selective. It's the Certified Human Resource Professional Program, the CHRP, offered by PIPD. Now, this isn't just, another online course you click through. It feels like something, well, quite different, something promising, a real transformation.
It really does. The first thing that grabs you, perhaps the most surprising bit right off the bat, is that they bill it as Pakistan's first zero-tuition-fee virtual training institute, specifically for HR pros. But, and this is crucial, don't let that zero-tuition part fool you into thinking it's easy street. The selectivity is intense. It really underlines the whole thing.
How selective are we talking?
Well, they pick only 100 people.
Yeah.
Every 3 months. And they're choosing from a pool that often goes over 4,000 applicants.
1,000.
Wow. Exactly. Think about that ratio. It immediately signals the prestige, the value people see in it, and frankly, the caliber of people trying to get in.
Okay, that definitely sets the stage. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward. We're using the program's official brochure as our guide, nothing else. We want to give you the straight scoop. We'll break down this unique program by focusing on 3 key things. First, the exact eligibility requirements. I mean, who even gets a shot at this? Second, the terms and conditions. What does signing up really mean in terms of commitment? Because it sounds demanding. And finally, the benefits. What's the actual payoff for going through this intense process? What transformation does it promise? Unpacking eligibility. Who gets to dive deep? All right, let's unpack this eligibility piece first, because you're right, that selection process sounds like a serious gatekeeping operation from the get-go. The numbers themselves tell a story. The brochure makes a point of saying, if you've made it to round 2, and seriously, congrats if that's you listening, you've already stood out among over 4,000 HR professionals. Just pausing on that number. 4,000. These aren't random applicants. They're HR professionals, people with experience, ambition, all wanting one of these spots.
It really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About the perceived value, yes, but also about the drive within the HR community in Pakistan.
Yeah.
There's clearly a hunger for this kind of advanced development.
Definitely. And it's not just a big pool, it's the exclusivity that follows. Only 100 individuals every 3 months. That's tiny compared to the applicant numbers. This isn't a mass market course. It feels like they're deliberately curating a very specific group.
Precisely. The brochure calls getting selected an exceptional achievement. And that language isn't accidental. It immediately signals the program's prestige, the high bar they've set. It suggests that the people who get in are already seen as having significant potential, High dedication. It's about bringing together a really focused, high-caliber cohort.
Okay, so that naturally leads to the big question.
Yeah.
How did they narrow it down so drastically? What are the actual non-negotiable criteria?
Well, the brochure is remarkably clear on this. There's no ambiguity. These are hard lines. First and foremost, this is exclusively for HR professionals. It states it point blank. Non-HR professionals are not eligible to apply.
No wiggle room there.
None. And that focus is key, isn't it? It means everyone starts with a shared foundation. They're speaking the same professional language. So the curriculum can dive deep right away without covering the basics. Plus, imagine the discussions people drawing on real shared HR experiences. It makes the learning immediately relevant.
That makes sense. It's building on experience, not starting from zero.
Exactly. Which leads to the next point, the experience threshold. Applicants absolutely must have at least 2 years of dedicated HR experience. Again, they're firm.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years of relevant experience will not be considered.
So not for fresh graduates or people just starting out in HR.
Correct. This is designed for people who've already been doing the work, who face some real-world HR challenges. They have the context to really absorb and apply the more advanced strategic stuff.
Yeah.
The goal is explicitly to advance your HR career, which implies you already have one to advance, right? It's about taking practitioners from, say, competent to really exceptional.
Got it. Experience is key. What else?
Education. There's a baseline there, too. A minimum of a 16-year graduation degree is required.
16 years, so typically a master's level or equivalent in the Pakistani system.
Generally, yes, or a 4-year bachelor's degree that equates to 16 years of education. Anyone with less are ineligible.
Yeah.
This isn't just a checkbox, I think. It suggests they expect a certain level of academic discipline, critical thinking, analysis, the ability to handle a demanding curriculum. You need those learning skills for an intensive program like this.
Makes sense. Sets a standard for engagement.
Now, here's a really interesting one, and it speaks volumes about the commitment level they expect. It's the no concurrent studies rule.
Ah, I saw that. What does it entail exactly?
It's pretty sweeping. Current university students or individuals enrolled in any academic program, certifications, or courses are not permitted to apply. Full stop.
So you can't be doing this and something else academically.
Not even close. It gets stricter. Participants are not allowed to enroll in any online or offline courses, certifications, or university programs during the 3-month duration of this program.
Wow. For the whole 3 months.
The entire 3 months. They even clarified participation is limited to in-house training provided within the program.
Why so strict, do you think? Is it just about time management?
I think it's deeper than that. It's about demanding undivided attention, total immersion. Imagine a cohort where everyone is 100% focused on this program. No split attention, no conflicting deadlines. It fosters a really intense collaborative energy. Everyone's all in, together. It signals this isn't a side hustle. It has to be your main focus for those 90 days.
That's a serious commitment. It really filters for people who can and will prioritize this.
Absolutely. And they double down on that with the next point, commitment to availability. This one's almost bracingly direct. The brochure warns if you are planning marriage, your own or close family members, or any event that may disrupt the required 3-hour daily commitment, please refrain from registering.
They actually say that about weddings.
Word for word. It's not a suggestion. It's a clear warning. This is not a flexible, fit-it-in-when-you-can't program. That daily time investment, the no leave policy we'll get to, it's all paramount. They need people who can genuinely shield this time for the full duration.
So taking all these eligibility criteria together, the HR focus, the experience minimum, the education level, the no concurrent studies, the availability warning, what's the overall picture?
It's a picture of deliberate curation. These aren't just hurdles. They're filters designed to assemble a very specific group. Highly committed, experienced, deeply focused individuals who are ready not just to learn, but to actively contribute and engage at a high level.
Yeah, it ensures everyone is ready to truly elevate your skills, expand your horizons, as the brochure says. It creates a powerful peer learning environment, presumably.
Exactly. Everyone's invested, everyone's prepared, everyone's focused on the same goal. That sets the stage for a really transformative experience you'd imagine. 2, navigating the rules of engagement. Terms and conditions for success.
Okay, so we understand who gets through the gate. Now, let's talk about what happens once you're inside. This is where it gets really interesting, especially around that zero tuition fee claim. While that's the headline, the brochure is clear there are specific terms and conditions. It's not quite a free pass, is it? Let's start with the money part.
Right. That zero tuition fee is prominent, and it is a huge deal, making this level of training accessible. But yes, there's a nuance. The brochure clarifies there's a total one-time fee, 5,000 PKR, non-refundable, to cover all expenses.
5,000 rupees, so roughly, what, 18-20 US dollars for the whole program?
Around that, yes. And importantly, they add no hidden charges. So it's transparent. You pay that one fee, and that's it for the operational side. Clearly not tuition. It feels like, as you said, an operational charge. Admin, maybe platform costs, certificate processing, perhaps.
Which, when you weigh it against what looks like a very intensive, expert-led program, feels, well, nominal.
Extremely nominal. It's a fascinating model. Offer the high-value education itself for free, but cover the running costs with a small, one-time fee. It balances accessibility with sustainability.
Okay, so the financial part is clear. But the real cost seems to be in time and effort. The brochure really spells out a demanding schedule.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the intensity really hits home. It is not casual. The core requirement is 3 hours daily, specifically 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., and that's for 90 days straight.
Evenings for 3 months solid. That's a huge chunk of personal time for a working professional.
It is. The brochure also mentions it slightly differently elsewhere as 3-4 hours daily, suggesting maybe some flex or additional work needed. And the weekly structure breaks it down further. The live sessions are 3 nights a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 to 11 p.m.
Okay, so what about the other 4 days?
That's for project and assignment work. So you're effectively engaged almost every single day. The learning platform is Microsoft Teams, by the way, so you need to be comfortable with that.
This really paints a picture of deep immersion, not just passive listening. It demands dedicated, consistent blocks of your time.
No question. It's active, demanding engagement throughout, which logically leads to their attendance policy.
Which sounds unforgiving.
That's a good word for it.
Hmm.
It's a strict no leave, no late policy.
Huh.
Full attendance, absolute punctuality mandatory. But the real kicker, the part that underlines the seriousness, is this, in all caps in the brochure. Recordings will not be furnished under any circumstances.
No recordings at all. So if you miss a session, you just miss it.
You just miss it.
Yeah.
There's no catching up later. This forces active, live participation. It means you have to be there, engaged in the moment. It fosters that real-time interaction, encourages questions, discussion. It holds everyone accountable. They clearly prioritize the live, collaborative experience above everything else.
Wow. Okay. That certainly ensures commitment. What about the practicalities, technical stuff?
Yes, there are basic technical prerequisites. Makes sense for a virtual program. You need reliable, high-speed internet. That's non-negotiable.
Can't participate if you keep dropping off.
Exactly. And device-wise, they specify a minimum of an i5 fourth-generation laptop or equivalent. Just need enough power for smooth virtual sessions, presentations, collaboration. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities to actually do the work and participate fully without technical frustrations getting in the way.
Right, setting everyone up for success. Now, before you even get to day one, there's that video resume requirement for round 2 applicants. That sounded quite detailed.
It is, and it serves multiple purposes, I think. The deadline is specific,
Yeah.
June 20th, 2025, along with the fee form. The instructions are meticulous. Record a clear and concise video, camera on, face visible, though they thoughtfully note hijab acceptable. You can use Urdu or English, but it's mandatory.
And the submission process.
Also very precise.
Yeah.
Upload to Google Drive, set sharing to anyone with the link, and this is key test. They'll link yourself in a private browser window before submitting.
That little step. It's a check for diligence, isn't it?
Absolutely. Basic technical competence and attention to detail. But the real pressure point is the content. The brochure warns starkly, answer every single question in the video. Missing even one question will result in an automatic rejection.
Automatic rejection for missing one question. That's harsh.
It is, but it's an early test, isn't it, of your ability to follow instructions precisely, your commitment, your communication skills. And the questions themselves are designed to make you think. They list 16 examples. Things like, how do you plan to allocate 3 hours daily for 90 days? Not just will you, but how?
Tests the realism of your commitment.
Exactly. Or what sets you apart?
Yeah.
Your unique value. They ask about navigating challenges, discuss a challenging situation, how you successfully navigated it, text reflection, problem solving.
And future goals, too.
Yes, short-term and long-term career goals. Gauges your ambition, your alignment with the program's leadership focus. So this whole video resume thing, it's much more than just an application form. It's the first real hurdle, assessing communication, self-reflection, and meticulousness right away.
A mini challenge before the main event. Okay, assuming you navigate that successfully, what's the onboarding like?
It seems pretty efficient. Registered candidates will get the call within 72 hours. Quick turnaround. And then, crucially, all the candidates will be added to a WhatsApp group on 7th July 2025. That builds community immediately, allows for direct comms, peer networking even before sessions start. It's a structured welcome.
Right, getting the cohort connected. Now, looking at the whole 90 days, you mentioned this emphasis on ongoing engagement and accountability. How does that play out beyond just showing up?
It plays out in several really active ways. It's definitely not just about absorbing lectures. First, there's that mandatory LinkedIn participation. You have to post a welcome note and feedback after each of the 24-plus sessions.
Every single session. That sounds like a lot of posting. Is it just for visibility?
It's partly visibility, sure. It enhances professional networking and community engagement, as they say. Get your name out there. But it also ties directly into the personal branding module they teach. So you're actively building your brand while reflecting on your learning. It makes the learning public, accountable.
Interesting connection. Practical application of the branding module in real time.
Exactly. Then there's the assignment structure. It's rigorous, and the consequences for slipping are severe. Timely submission is essential. Failure to submit on time will result in exclusion from further sessions.
Exclusion. Kicked out for missing a deadline.
That's what it says. It underscores the discipline required. And the assignments themselves are multi-layered. You create a presentation covering the topics, gather supporting documents, and then this is key record, a video presentation explaining it all, walking through the documents.
So not just written work. You have to present it, explain it verbally on video.
Yes. And for group presentations, it's live virtual delivery, camera and mic on, using credible research and relevant professional experience. It directly mimics real-world project delivery in a corporate setting. Demands research, synthesis, presentation skills, tap proficiency. Very practical.
Okay, that's demanding. What about interaction between participants?
That's built in too through peer review and mentorship obligations. There's a formal peer review. Each participant must review the assignments and projects of one other group weekly, evaluating everything from content to delivery style.
So you're constantly giving and receiving feedback within the cohort.
Precisely. Peer feedback ensures collaborative learning, the brochure states. It builds critical thinking, helps everyone improve. And then there's an external mentorship piece. You have to share your progress with at least 3 HR professionals outside the PIPD cohort.
Share your progress externally. Why?
The stated goal is to teach and mentor as you learn, amplifying your impact on the HR community. It pushes you to articulate your learning, share insights, and start acting like a leader even during the program.
That's quite innovative. Fosters external networking and reinforces the learning through teaching.
It does. It creates this whole ecosystem of learning, feedback, and contribution, internal and external.
Finally, how does it all culminate? Getting the actual certification.
The criteria are crystal clear. Certificate issued only upon submission of all assignments and projects, passing of exams and interviews.
Exams and interviews.
Yes. It's not just about the work. It's about demonstrating understanding and competence through multiple assessments. The certificate is earned, not just given for showing up. They provide key dates, too. Final project due Sep 13th, final interview 6/6/13th, and 2 shots at the examination Sep 14th and Sep 21st, 2025. Provides a clear runway.
And a small extra cost for getting the physical certificate.
Yeah, a minor detail. You cover the courier costs for the certificate and any optional souvenirs. But the core point is, the certification itself signifies proven competence across the board. 3. The transformative rewards. Benefits of the CHRP program.
Okay, putting this all together. The eligibility is tough, the rules are demanding, the workload is intense. So the big question is, why? What's the payoff? What are the actual benefits that make this demanding journey worthwhile?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And the benefits outlined are pretty compelling. Starting with that foundational value proposition, we have to circle back to Pakistan's first zero tuition fee, virtual training institute. That accessibility is a massive benefit in itself.
Right, removing the financial barrier for potentially high-value training.
Exactly. That 5,000 PKR fee, as we discussed, is purely operational. The actual education, the expert instruction, the curriculum that's provided without a hefty tuition fee, it truly democratizes access based on merit and dedication, not just financial capacity. That's a game changer.
A huge structural benefit. But beyond access, what's the goal of the program? Is it just about getting that certificate?
Definitely not. The brochure is very explicit about this, almost challenging potential applicants. It says quite directly, if you are joining solely for the certificate, this program may not be for you.
That's a bold statement.
It is. It continues. The emphasis is on developing leaders, not just issuing certificates. This clearly sets the expectation. They're looking for people interested in genuine growth and becoming strategic contributors, not just collecting credentials. It reinforces that the real value lies in the skills and leadership experience you gain, which they call invaluable.
So the transformation is the real product, not just the paper.
Precisely. It's about becoming a different kind of HR professional, a leader, a strategic partner.
And a key part of that transformation seems to be who you learn from. The access to trainers sounds exceptional.
Absolutely. This is arguably one of the standout benefits. You're not learning from academics alone or junior trainers. The brochure states each topic is led by a distinguished trainer, a seasoned expert with extensive national and international expertise.
So learning directly from people who have shaped HR practices globally.
That's the promise, gaining insights from their real-world, high-level experience. And critically, these trainers aren't just international names flown in. They are HR professionals from all 4 provinces of Pakistan.
Ah, that's significant. Why is that mix important?
It ensures the learning is both globally informed and deeply relevant to the local Pakistani context. You get cutting-edge ideas, but grounded in the realities, challenges, and opportunities of the region. It fosters a truly representative, collaborative environment.
Can you give us a sense of the caliber? Any specific names mentioned?
Yes, they highlight some very impressive figures. Zishan Subhan Bandesha, the founder of PIPD itself, is involved bringing that core vision. Then there's Qazi Usman Riaz, a fellow of CIPD, GM of Human Capital at Netsol Technologies, that's top-level tech HR experience. And Arsalan Ahmad Khan, EVP and Head of Talent Management at Mizan Bank. Huge experience in the demanding financial sector.
Wow, those are senior leaders currently active in major organizations.
Exactly. Learning directly from people like that who are actively shaping HR in leading companies. That kind of access is incredibly rare and valuable. It's mentorship at a very high level.
Okay, amazing faculty. What about the actual content? What are you learning over these 90 intensive days?
The curriculum is described as an intensive exploration of over 11 HR domains across 11 core modules. And it's incredibly comprehensive. It covers the waterfront of modern strategic HR itself, policy development, org development, talent acquisition and employee experience, L&D, comp and benefits, DEIB, HR business partnering, performance management, HR audits and compliance, and HR digital transformation.
That covers pretty much everything you'd expect in a high-level HR program.
It does. It provides that robust foundation. But then they add specialized, really cutting-edge topics that make it stand out. Things like personal branding and human resources, very relevant today. ChatGPT and human resources, absolutely critical for the future.
Embracing AI in HR. Nice.
Yes. Also, international recruitment, understanding global talent flows, and a dive into ISO standards. ISO 9001 for quality, 27001 for information security in HR, 14001 for environmental considerations. Shows a holistic view of HR's role in organizational excellence.
Interesting, connecting HR to broader compliance and standards.
And importantly, a module on international certifications like SHRM and HRCI, guiding people on global benchmarks and further professional development pathways. It's a very holistic, practical, and future-focused curriculum design.
Now, the brochure apparently connects these modules to quantifiable benefits. That sounded really impactful when you mentioned it earlier.
It does, and this is a powerful part of their pitch. They don't just list the topics. They show why mastering them matters, using data, often citing sources like SHRM, McKinsey, HBR, Glassdoor, PwC, Gallup, Deloitte, Gartner.
Can you give us some examples? Those stats were striking.
Sure. For strategic HR, they claim it boosts business performance by 70% SHRM. That directly positions HR as a value driver. For talent acquisition and employee experience, strong hiring improves retention by 82%. Glassdoor. Huge impact on stability and cost.
82%.
I know. Learning and development.
Yeah.
94% of employees stay longer when companies invest in growth. LinkedIn.
Oh.
Directly links L&D to loyalty. Organization development. Structured OD increases productivity by 30%. McKinsey. Clear efficiency gains.
These numbers really build a business case for strong HR.
They absolutely do. Policy development reduces legal risks, according to 80% of HR leaders, PwC. DE&I isn't just right, it's profitable. Diverse companies outperform competitors by 35%, HBR. Compensation remains key. 63% prioritize compensation for job satisfaction. Gallup. Performance management systems can increase productivity by 25%, Deloitte. Compliance is critical. Non-compliance fines can reach $1 million annually, SHRM. HR business partnering is vital for change. 73% of CEOs rely on HRBPs for transformation, Gartner. And digital transformation boosts efficiency. 60% of HR tasks can be automated, boosting efficiency by 30%, PwC.
So mastering these skills isn't just good for your CV, it directly impacts the organization's success in measurable ways.
That's exactly the argument they're making. These statistics provide compelling, concrete reasons why these skills are essential, translating HR capabilities into tangible business outcomes.
Okay, so powerful skills, expert trainers, quantifiable impact. How does it all tie together to create that strategic business leader they talk about?
I think it ties together through the emphasis on application, leadership development, and community contribution. It's not just about absorbing the info. That LinkedIn engagement we talked about, it enhances professional networking and community engagement. You're building your network and visibility as you learn. The peer review process sharpens your critical thinking and feedback skills. The external mentorship pushes you to articulate your knowledge and lead. You're encouraged to contribute to the HR community as a leader and mentor. It fosters this outward-looking perspective.
So the program isn't just inwardly focused on individual learning, it actively pushes you to connect and contribute externally.
Yes, it seems designed to build not just skilled individuals, but a powerful, interconnected professional network, fostering a culture of leadership and giving back to the wider HR community. That's a key part of becoming a strategic leader, influence beyond your own role. Outro.
Well, that was certainly a deep dive. We've gone through the PIPD CHRP program from start to finish, the really tough eligibility hurdles, the very demanding terms and conditions, but also the potentially profound benefits.
Yeah, the brochure lays it all out quite clearly. It's definitely a unique proposition, highly intensive, specifically for serious HR professionals aiming for that next level. It demands a lot, but promises significant growth in knowledge, leadership, and impact.
So for you listening, what's the takeaway? If you fit that profile, experienced HR professional, dedicated, hungry to lead this program, seems to offer a path, albeit a challenging one, to really significant growth. It's not just another course.
Absolutely. It's positioned as a transformative experience, which leads to perhaps a final thought to consider. How might dedicating 90 intensive days learning from global leaders, collaborating intensely with peers, being pushed constantly,
Yeah.
how might that truly reshape your professional path? How could it empower you to drive real strategic change, not just in your current role, but throughout your career?
A powerful question. Definitely something for you to mull over as you continue your journey to being truly well informed.